Lots of discussion involving Joe Mixon, the Oklahoma running back, who will hear his name coming up in Philadelphia in a couple of weeks. The question is when. There's mock drafts that have him being taken in the first round, second round, and then thereafter. And he is right here on the Rich Eisen Show. How are you, Joe?
Fine and yourself. How are you doing, Rich?
I'm doing fine. So, Joe, how are you different than the young man who strolled into the Pickleman's Gourmet Cafe on July 24th that night in 2014?
Man, I'm a changed person, really. I've been through a lot of situations after that fact, and I learned a lot. I learned a lot about myself. Learned a lot about the character of me, and I just grew up from the situation and moved past it and trying to move forward in a positive manner.
And how have you been? How can you prove that, Joe?
It takes time. It's not a one-day thing. Don't nothing just go away so quick. Like I said, it takes time to build character and to build, the type of person people, will get to see. But at the end of the day, like I said, it takes time, and that's what I'm here to prove.
What would you tell that fresh 18? I mean, it was the day after your 18th birthday. What would you tell that 18-year-old now?
If I was in that situation?
Well, just right now, if I were able to put you in a room with the 18-year-old version of yourself, what would you tell him?
Just try to, keep his spirits up. But at the end of the day, let him know what he did was wrong. Learn from it. We all make mistakes, but it's how you grow from it, and don't let one situation define you.
Joe Mixon joining me here on the Rich Eisen Show. Look, Joe, this is the first time we've ever spoken. I've never met you. So I just want to ask this question, because just obviously reading about what happened that night and the video that has come out from it, I'm just wondering, where did that come from? I mean, it does take a certain moment in time or a certain deep-seated situation for the actual manhandling of a woman in that regard. Where can you account that coming from, Joe?
Like I said, it's all about really maturity. I was a young kid, made a huge mistake, and I'm not running from the fact that I made a mistake. And if I could take that day back, I will, but I can't. And like I said, I've been doing whatever I can to improve myself as a person off the field and the player on the field. And that's what I've been trying to do for the past 2.5 years.
Like what? What have you done in that regard?
Well, I've been going around doing counseling. I've been doing mandatory counseling for myself. It's up to me to do that. I've been going around, hanging around with DAs and judges, doing community service with them. They've been taking me in and hanging out with them, and we've been doing good deeds around the community. And I've been, being around AAU kids, football kids, and trying to involve myself in children's hospitals. And I've been trying to do whatever I can to become a better person and, a better person around the community.
What do you tell teams that are taking you off their draft board, refuse to even consider drafting you, Joe?
I understand, about the teams, taking me off their boards, and I can't do nothing about that. That's not my pay grade. At the end of the day, I'm just blessed to have the opportunity to go to these teams that I've been to, these couple of past weeks, and, get to tell my story, get everything out there, and for them to get to know me as a person.
Well, last question on this area. Walk me through the process where you and your lawyers decided to release the tape before it came out on its own?
It was really all up to them. We never had the video or anything, but I was advised by them for everything in my case, but that was all confidential. And, they, like I said, they advised me, and all I was doing was listening.
Well, what did they advise you to do? Why did they advise you to do that?
Well, honestly, I don't know. It was a case going on. It's still a current case, but at the end of the day, I haven't been involved with that. My lawyer's been taking care of that, so, you really can ask them.
Joe Mixon of Oklahoma, soon to be of an NFL team, joining me here on the Rich Eisen Show. Who have you visited? Who have you spoken to, Joe?
I've I've visited around 15 teams. It's been a lot of teams that I've been going around the country and touring around, them getting to know me as a person, and we've been trying to build a relationship from there.
So 15 teams have taken you around.
Yes, sir. About 15. Yes, sir.
Who have you met from some of these teams? Were there any players from some of the teams that you went around, or has it just been the coaches, general managers? Who have you met with, Joe?
It's been, for the most part, it's been a lot of coaches, GMs, owners, player personnel people, player engagement people, and that's pretty much about it. I mean, you see players, going through the facilities, but for the most part, it's been GMs, coaches, player personnel, and player engagement people.
Have you spoken with Adrian Peterson at all? Is he somebody that you rely on,
Yes,
you
sir.
lean on?
Yes, sir. I have spoken with him. Adrian's a great guy, and he just tried to get me to stay focused on the prize, keep my eyes on the prize, and do whatever I got to do to become successful and help others.
Well, what does he tell you? Like, what advice does he give you?
Really just stay focused. Like I said, Adrian Peterson, he's been through adversity before, and, I'm facing it now. I'm trying to do whatever I can to overcome it, and that's what I've been doing.
Well, I mean, I'm sure you've been made aware. You're going to hear it from fans in the NFL. I mean, just wherever you go, and
I understand that.
In a similar way that you heard it in your bowl game. And I mean, how are you planning on handling all of that stuff, Joe?
The same way I have been, blocking out all the noise. I understand people are upset. Like I said, I understand I made a mistake, but I would never let one mistake, define the person that I am.
Where are you going to watch the draft? Where are you going to be?
I'm not sure yet. I'll be with my agent for sure. We haven't really discussed it, but I'm sure we'll have a plan coming up in the next week or so.
All right, and who's the best running back in this draft, Joe?
Honestly, I believe myself, and that's what I believe.
All right, Joe, appreciate the time. We'll see you at the next level.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me, Rich. I appreciate it.
You got it. That's Joe Mixon at Joe_Main Mixon.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.